What's up, guys and gals? So thank you for watching. My name is Juan and this is my channel BlueprintPC. So you're watching Tech Lounge, which is a little mini show thing that I'm trying out, and we'll see if it works or not. Anywho, give you a quick rundown. So we talk about a few tech topics and talking points and things of that nature, maybe some news, whatever. It's kind of laid back. It's very simple. I try not to over edit this thing and let it get out of hand. It's, again, more laid back. So if you like tech news, reviews, how-tos, and things of that nature, please subscribe to my channel. You might like it, you might not. You can always unsubscribe if you don't. So, anywho, so today we're talking about DDR5 and whether that should be a factor for you right now in any near future builds. And then AMD, because they're at it again. They're releasing more Ryzen stuff, which is good. So we're going to talk about that too. So, starting off, DDR5 RAM enters production for 2021, and that's for, you know, like workstations, servers, and things of that nature. It's going to work its way into DIY for all the parts and things like that that we love to build and play with and tinker and all that fun stuff. I don't think it's gonna be a factor yet. So getting in just straight into that, should it be an issue for you, and should you wait or even like consider it? Right now, no. By all means, no. It's not gonna be a factor for DIY probably till next year, and if it is, it'll be the second half of next year. And at that point in time, it's going to be high-end new adopters. You know, it's going to be like for your thread rippers, and your other X299 or whatever Intel comes out with, like the higher end stuff. Most likely will use it first, and then it will trickle down and become standardized. That's when you have to take it under consideration, is when it becomes the standard. So DDR3, you know, same transition happened. You know, old boards had DDR3, new early adopters had DDR4, and it's one of those things where at that point in time, when that threshold happens of what do, you have to make a decision. Do you want to stick with the older, reliable, good known, but then you're stuck because you can't upgrade? Or do you adopt to the new? At that point in time, when it becomes standard, I definitely think adopt to the new so you can carry on, move forward, upgrade, future-proof yourself. As of right now, it's hard to say because you think, well, do I build like a massive system now and then next year it's out of date? That might happen. Again, I don't think probably till 2022 is when we're going to see DDR5 become like the true standard across the board where everything and everybody's using it. I could be wrong. We'll see how fast it, you know, becomes, but you're still going to see people for, you know, years to come that are using DDR4. Just like now, there's still people out there that use DDR3. I've actually got something coming up to show you guys here on the normal episodes that uses DDR3, but we'll see what that is. So I wouldn't let it be a factor. I wouldn't let it hold you back. I wouldn't even think about it again until next year. If you're going to build something now, do so. But we're talking about some caveats in the Ryzen factor. So the other thing to consider too is early adopters of DDR5 have growing pains, compatibility issues, things of that nature. So when you first start using motherboards that are using it, there might be processor problems. Who knows what can come out? It might be a flawless rollout and we never see any issues, and DDR5 just jumps on board, hits the ground running, and just carries us into the future. But it also might be a bumpy road, and we might see that like where something that might use an AM4 socket, but a new motherboard, and they, you know, do like some updates to try and make things compatible. You might see some problems with that. You might see issues where certain things just don't want to work with it, just like some RAM for a little while there was better with Intel versus AMD, and so on and so forth. So that's a couple things to take into consideration is early adopters, you pay a fee, and it's not just the cost of new stuff, it's the fee of growing pains. So be aware of that. And the other thing to consider too is it might not be the best thing until it becomes a standard. So early adopter stuff for DDR5, you know, right now, DDR4 has come so far, and it's, you know, you can buy kits that are 5 gigahertz. DDR5, I think, is going to start at 34 or 66 for its standard frequency. So while, yes, that's faster memory in general, that might not be able to beat the DDR4 5 gigahertz stuff. We're going to find out, but that's something else to consider too, is just like when DDR3 came out, you know, well, not when it came out, but when DDR4 came out and DDR3 was still existing, DDR3 was hitting 2133 megahertz, and that's where DDR4 started. So there, you know, is some overlap time where you really got to see which one's going to perform better, at least in that interim of first rollout to standardization. So other things to consider. Again, concluding, don't worry about it right now. Next year, if you see it starting hitting motherboards in the DIY, then pay attention to it. Then consider that a deciding factor if you want to deal with the extra costs up front and the growing pains. So your call, but we'll see next year most likely. All right, so this week, again, the gadget I'm going to show you, I'm kind of doing things a little out of order compared to the last one. It's actually this guy right here. So if you've seen this on the corner of the desk and went, what the hell is that? It's a cable bungee from Myth, from Cougar. I really like this one for several reasons. One, it doesn't look stupid, because I think the other ones that are long triangular things look like a catapult to launch like spitballs across the room or something stupid, or maybe a pizza roll into your roommate's mouth, which isn't a bad idea. So if you want to try that, go for it. I'm not holding you back. But no, it's compact. It's really freaking strong, so it's not going to go anywhere on you, versus some of those other ones are just going to sit there and then you still can tug them and pull them. This one locks into place. It's got a semi-sticky bottom here that is washable, so if you get stuff stuck to it, you can literally just rinse it off and everything comes off. It's got a lock right here, so it pulls up on the little suction cup and locks down to whatever you stick it to. Desks, the back of your monitor, if you really need to like save space and keep it out of the way, you could actually put it on a wall. I will warn you, if you put it on a wall, it's going to be like those wonderful little 3M strips, and it will probably take paint down with it. I haven't tried because I don't want to find out. But it's pretty quick and simple. This is just rubber, so it's flexible. It's not going to break on you. This is built really well, and again, like it's solid plastic. It's not metal, but there's metal screws in there. It makes it look fancy. So simple. Pop it down. You see, you don't have to do it that hard. You can really just set it down, push your lock tab, and again, it's in place. Then just take your mouse cable, push it down in the groove, and you're done. It's, again, simple. It's about 20 bucks. I'll put the price right down here, flashing or moving somewhere on the screen, and I will put a link in the description below, so if you guys want to check it out on Amazon. But yeah, other than that, moves around. See, it follows and flexes. It's not super, if you pull it, but again, it doesn't like sling it shot across the room. So that's good. But you can adjust this, obviously. I put it behind my monitor, so I don't even see it anymore, and then I forget about it. I actually had to like, pull it out because I wanted to show it to you guys. So I'm like, this is something that at least I find makes my life easier. So, but let's go ahead. Let's roll into the next topic. All right, guys. So we're going to talk about AMD Ryzen 3 Zen 2 3000 series. It's a little confusing because Ryzen technically has the 3200G and the 3400G, which are actually Zen Plus on the 12 nanometer architecture. So it's technically in the same family as all the Ryzen 2000 series stuff, even though there's a 2200G and a 2400G, which are Zen 1, 14 nanometer. It's confusing, I know, and that is what it is. I can't change that. However, I am excited to see these chips come out because I was kind of wondering about that. When they first came out with Ryzen 3000, there was no basic integrated GPU processors out there, and there is a market for people who don't want that. You don't want some extra processing power robbed from the PC, well, from the CPU if you can help it. And again, that just kind of adds to the cost, which is another plus side is they have the Ryzen 3 3100X and the Ryzen 3 3300X coming out. The Ryzen 3100X is going to be $99, at least as of right now, and then the 3300X will be $120. Again, as of right now, we may see these move up or down. I'm sure at first launch it'll probably be a little more pricey, but then it'll probably drop down on sale fairly quickly. Again, both 4 cores, 8 threads. They have different clocks. That's one of the biggest variances outside of price, and that's what you're paying for in the difference between a 31 and 33. The caches are the same size. Let's see here. 3100X is a 3.6 gigahertz base clock with a boost clock of up to 3.9 gigahertz. The 3300X has a base clock of 3.8 gigahertz and a boost clock of 4.3 gigahertz. So both these are going to be, again, Zen 2 Ryzen 3000. So I think if they're going to be great entry-level budget chips, they're going to be a high IPC along with all the other Zen 2 stuff that we see out there. The biggest question is now, everything's going to such high core counts. Even Intel's jumping up, adding hyper-threading and things like that to all their lower end chips. And what they have to compete with this is like double the price. So yeah, AMD is definitely still kicking some butt here in this ballpark, and probably will be for some time. Now, one thing I want you guys to consider with this is if you're looking at a 3100X or a 3300X for an entry-level chipset, what's your use case? If you're strictly gaming and that's all you're going to do, then that's probably a great processor and that's all you're going to need. If you're going to run Discord and maybe like, you know, some other things, if you're running multi-monitor and you're going to have like a Chrome browser open, Discord in the other one, and some other things going on, especially if you even think about streaming, this is probably going to get overwhelmed just because it's only 4 cores, 8 threads. While that does seem very capable, and they might be, I don't know, I wanted to let you guys in on kind of just some food for thought here. So we're talking about $100, $120 for those entry-level processors. There's other options out there. This one right here, the Ryzen 5 1600 AF. That, again, it's not exactly Ryzen 1st gen or Ryzen Zen 1. It's actually Zen Plus, but still 1st gen. What happened is AMD ran out of the 14 nanometer architecture little chip wafers, and they still want to keep these SKUs out there for budget-friendly, you know, consumers who want to build a PC on a, you know, again, budget-friendly, save some cash. So these come in at $85 MSRP. If you find them anywhere else for more than that, don't buy it. This one was on Amazon for $85. That's like 85.00. So that's it. Anything above that, other than like a few bucks, don't buy it. So, but this is 6 cores, 12 threads. Again, it's comparable to a 2600, a Ryzen 5 2600. So it's a little slower, but I mean, you're within like 10% or even 5% in most use cases. So you're gonna get, again, just more cores, more threads to work with if you want to multifunction, maybe even do some really decent streaming with this processor. We're gonna do some tests on it, so again, hit that like and subscribe button to see what we do with this thing in the future. So, but again, we won't know the exact end results until we see what happens when these come out. I'm going to try to get a hold of at least one of these chips when they come out and do some testing on it, so that way we can get some real world, you know, use case and things of that nature and how well it does perform truly. So, okay. The game of the episode that I want to recommend, again, is free. And yes, I've played it myself. I'm not going to recommend something to you guys that I haven't played because I'm just not full of crap. I'm going to be honest with you guys, whether you like it or not. That's how I am to my friends, and sometimes they don't like it, but I love them, and it is what it is, and I appreciate you guys, and I love you guys, so thank you for watching. World of Warships, it's basically it's Battleship, the video game. There is already a game called Battlefield, if you didn't already know that. You get 2 teams, whether you're playing, you know, single player or co-op against the PC or AI, or actually, you know, player versus player, opposite teams, things of that nature. You're going around, you're blowing each other's boats up. It's a, what they consider their little, you know, massive online multiplayer game. There are 4 main classes of ships. There's the destroyers, battleships, aircraft carriers, and the cruisers. They are supposed to release submarines, which I think might be a little game breaking, but we'll find out, because I'm sure they'll probably nerf them to some extent to keep it balanced. The game's actually really cool, and it's actually really easy to run. So if you don't have a super high-end system, this is actually a really good-looking game for what it is, and it doesn't really beat your system up, because honest to God, I was really surprised when I was playing this. The frame rates were low, like, well, not low, but they were like, the usage was low, but the frame rates were good and it looked beautiful, and I had everything completely max full tilt. And if you don't know, my system is it's a 2070 Super and a Ryzen 2700X, so it's not like a 2080 Ti with, you know, a 3950X or anything like that. So I wish, but it's not. So that's real world example. And again, my system was not pushed at all really that hard to run this at full tilt. So if you're working something like this, and even probably like an RX 570 would probably run this game smooth, and, you know, it would be fine. It's pretty cool. You can customize the ships how you want. You can upgrade them over time. There's a whole slew of different ships out there. So it's one of those things where, you know, are you really gonna, you know, you're gonna have fun no matter what. And again, it's free. If you don't like it, don't play it. You know, stop playing it. I will say one thing is too, I don't have a special code, but if you look at Linus Tech Tips or Jay's 2 Cents, They all have their little special links and codes so you get some extra free crap when you sign up online. Make sure you sign up on their site first before you start it in the game, because otherwise it won't work right. Just a friendly tip. So outside of that, guys, that's all I have for you this week. So thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you have any questions, comments, things of that nature, put it in the comments. And I will catch you guys in that next one. And yeah, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Bye.